going on, Queen?
Hey, what's going on?
How you been? How you been?
Good, good, good. I'm happy to, you got me on. It sounds like you were already dropping gems. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, this about you. This ain't about me. You heard? So before we get started, just give them a little rundown of who you are, what it is that you do, and we're gonna get started.
Sure. Well, hey everyone. I am Ty Cooper. I'm a beauty expert, and also I dive in so much as it relates to investments, real estate, and employment law stuff. So I do a little bit of everything, but the reason why I am on today is because I found the keys to content creation with all of my business endeavors. So that's why we're here, but that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, I love it, right? And before I get started, we actually met like back in 2018 at the Rolling Loud thing. We both were speaking, and it was just like dope to see how everything transferred. Both our careers is still like growing. We're not stopping. We're not playing. But I just like, yo, that's kind of crazy how stuff full circle. But then you also get to see the transformations in people, and I just wanted to say that was dope.
Oh yeah. I went back
Right?
to those days too. I remember we like took a picture and all of
Yeah.
that. And I was like, oh, that's my
Yes.
boy.
And the crazy thing about it, like we was impacting then. Like we thought it was like cool to be doing, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so so for us to still be going, I think that's the dope thing. And a lot of people sometimes they get stagnant or they forget their purpose or they get lost or discouraged, whatever it may be, but give up along the journey. But to see that we're still here and we're still growing and climbing and impacting and helping the people, that's amazing, Queen. And I want to commend you for that, first of all. Right?
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
before you became a beauty entrepreneur, what were you doing? Before you got in this beauty industry, what was you doing?
Okay, so like I gotta take my glasses off for this.
Take them off.
So to be very transparent and honest, I've always done dual things. And
Yeah.
so I was extremely in HR. I'm still in human resources.
Yeah.
I'm an executive level HR exec. I deal a lot in employment law, but I've also, have dived a whole lot into beauty. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm from Alabama. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, right? And when I first did like this person's makeup, I didn't do her makeup. I actually did her lashes. It was real
Hmm.
quick. I got small hands. And my sister, I was in her shop and she was like, you need to do it. I did it. The lady
Hmm.
was like, you should be a makeup artist. And I was like, what is that? Because I'm from Alabama, country girl, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you're really good. Come to find out that person was like an executive at Revlon.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, I ended up traveling the world with her and doing a lot of things, and that just kind of evolved into the things that I'm doing in beauty and also being a
Yeah.
beautypreneur. And then I also have my executive side, HR, employment law side that I just kind of merged. And I hate it
Mm.
when people say you need to do one thing, stay in this box. So I was like, don't y'all listen. I'm like, I'm gonna do it all. At least I'm gonna try. Like, what the hell? I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just done both simultaneously, and it's just been working out.
Yeah, I think that's dope. Because I'm one of the people I tell people, especially when they don't have it mastered out, focus on one thing, but it's because they don't have that one thing together.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Or they coincide. There's like way two different universes that it's hard to put together, and then you talking to different people. But in your case, this is actually a career as well, as another business, right? So sometimes when you
Yes.
got a career plus a business, that's easier than trying to have 12 million different businesses, but can't even run the first one, right?
Listen, you preaching right now because that goes to I'm always asked, Ty, how do you do both?
Yeah.
And my answer to that is, listen, I allowed my career to be my sponsor for
Mm.
my beauty business. right? So
Yeah.
I still kind of interned. I did a lot of stuff in beauty because I was there to learn and absorb. I did things for free, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I still have my 3 degrees. I'm still doing HR, and I allowed that check to supply my funding for the build of my beauty business. So you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
That's hard. I love. That's how you're supposed to do it, right? And a lot
Yeah.
of times people they want to leave a job and go chase this business, and the business ain't even a seed yet that ain't been watered, and now they got their whole life crashing down on them. So now they can't get the focus. I tell people all the time, do not leave your job into your business able to support you and whatever you was making and that job. But don't leave it because you see somebody on the line telling you, oh, you can't do this and that, right? No, it's not true. Because
Yes.
if you just go cold turkey and leave your job in 30 days, you're going to be looking for another job.
Who you telling? And see,
Right?
I was like, okay, God, if I leave this career or job or whatever it is, if I leave this, God, you got to supply,
Yeah.
that whatever it is that I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like I'm transitioning this away, but it was the build up, it was the
Yeah.
planning, it was the of course, these days I want to be like, you know what, I quit and I'm done, right? But because I have that plan, I got a date schedule, I have
Yeah.
everything like
Yeah.
mapped out. It's like now when I go in, I'm like, okay, all right, but how can I help you? Because I gotta be thankful for my sponsor, my
Yes.
job as my
Yes.
sponsor. So
Yes.
yeah, I get it.
I think because for me, like I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2010, right? And so I've been my own investor the whole time. And when I tell you, like, yo, that was the hardest thing ever before I got the resources and the knowledge to scale and grow. That was the hardest because I didn't understand money, right? And so our
Mm.
mindset, what happened is we gotta save it to spend it, save it to spend it, save it to spend it. And then when I start accessing OPM, other people money, and saving my money using that. So if I borrow 100,000, I make 400,000. I keep my 300,000. I get them back they 100,000, and then reuse they 100,000 to give me another 300,000. And then literally once I start understanding that, I start scaling because we taught to man save up the money. If this product or whatever business you got costs $10,000 to start, you will save the 10,000 in your cash. You will spend it, and then your mind is gone. And now once you get into a place, you about to give up because you don't have the resources or the mental. So the way you did it and became your own sponsor using your career was smart as hell.
You know what? I got a testimony real quick. I'm a
Yeah.
Southern girl, so I'm going to speak.
Yeah.
So that was hard for me. So we are all typically like, if we didn't come from wealth, right? And
Yeah.
our parents, they're not handing down no legacy, no none of that, right? So uh, I was like, the only thing I know how to do is
Yeah.
go to school and work for an organization, right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I have to work. I have to work for somebody. I have to build this money. And I was like, dang, I can't be a millionaire working for somebody else. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a plateau. I reached the
Yeah.
ceiling. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use my money from my
Yeah.
career that I saved, and I'm
Yeah.
going to put it all in my business. Well, guess what happened? Woo, Lord. I spent $20,000 of my money in 2020.
Yeah.
And I lost every last dime and then some. So that was my cash money.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this entrepreneur thing ain't for me. That's why I'm sticking with the career, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, no, that's not it. God had to speak to me again, and he said, listen, have I ever failed you? Are you going to
Mm-hmm.
trust me? Are you going to believe? So if
Yeah.
you are, then do it. If you're not, don't play with me. So I said, okay, God. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna get this 20,000 back, but I need it back, right? Because I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, so what I did was I trusted him, and I said, okay,
Yeah.
God, I lost this 20,000. It's my own cash money. What
Yeah.
I learned was to invest in myself. So I started to go to school. I have all these master's degrees, but couldn't one professor tell me how to be a millionaire. You want to know why? Because they weren't.
Facts.
So I had to start looking into these other entrepreneurs like yourself and other people like all of these legends out there that have created this wealth for not just
Yeah.
themselves, but for families. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, what are they doing? And none of them had degrees. So I was like, okay, there's something to this. So I was like, okay, let me go back. Let me invest in myself and
Yeah.
start going to these invest fests. Start going to
Yeah.
some of these conferences and learning some of these
Yes.
things from these black millionaires. I'm like,
Yes.
what is it? So I did that and I learned not to even use my money. Come on, God. Listen, I was like, okay, I've learned to use the credit that I built. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I am worth something because I'm making over 6 figures in this
Yeah.
career. And these people
Yeah.
are paying me for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So I have a skill. I was like, I need to use my head. I need to use their money. What you call it? Other people's money, OPM?
Yep. Yep.
Listen, I've
OPM.
been working on OPM ever since and profiting something serious, which is going to allow me to move out. So you're
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yes, I learned this. I learned this because back in 2016, I filmed a movie and I spent $100,000 in cash in my own money, and I felt it, right. And I'm not gonna lie. Once I did that, because I didn't budget out the whole thing. Like I'm like, yo, I'm a shooter to do this, and this all it's gonna cost. I ain't even had no money for marketing. Like I was down to my last $10,000. And then I was like, man, for some reason, my ass tried to go in a car dealership on a rainy day. I ain't never walked in a car dealership in my life. And I tried to get a Maserati, and they laughed at me, and they said my credit score is a 504. I said, how's my credit score a 504 when I ain't never used credit? This back in 2017, right? And I was like, all right. I was mad because the guy who was at the desk, the agent, he knew who I was because he went to high school with me. So he was talking highly, like, yo, this guy's doing all of this. But when they pulled my credit, it said, doing all of what? and they laughed at me. Like, literally, legit laughed at me because the Maserati was their show car. It was on the show floor. They laughed at me. And what I did, right, I left out there. I had 10K left in my name. I called I pulled my credit report. I see every one of the 1-800 numbers on my credit report. It equaled to $8,000, and I never had a credit card a day in my life. It was just when I was younger. I was getting apartments for my cousins, for my like all these other little bitty bills. Out of that $10,000, I gave them $8,000 that same week. Me and literally, me and my wife, we literally was eating ramen noodles for like 3 months. But literally, what happened at that moment is freedom. I paid off $8,000 worth of debt that I didn't accumulate for a reason. And I was able to learn financing right there. And literally that $8,000 allowed us to make millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, because we became free by giving them folks that $8,000.
Wow.
And literally everything that I want in life, I can get with no problem because I understand how to leverage. But at that moment, I didn't, but I wasn't scared to sacrifice my last.
Yeah.
And so I tell people all the time, and then when I went out and started this back in 17. So I'm going out telling everybody in my family, like, yo, you got to do this. This thing crazy. They looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what you talking about, man? Get out of here with that. Now everybody coming back to me. I'm super up. So everybody coming back to me. I don't have the time to educate you because when I was trying to educate you then, somebody said you could have disputed it. No, I did it. I created the discipline there because if the discipline, if I couldn't pay them that 8,000, how can I pay them back millions and millions of dollars? You are thinking in your mind that you gotta dispute everything. If you did it, you did it. Pay them folks back what you owe them. And
right.
So that same objective, once I paid them that money, I still pay them their money. See, we can't dispute. Stop disputing shit if you used it. Get them folks no, pay them folks, allow them, and that's what's going to allow you to keep growing and scaling because people like, oh, you can dispute it. Every time you dispute, you're going to reset.
I'm laughing at you now.
I'm just being honest, right? Because at that moment I was into credit, like personal credit. And then I watched Donald Trump movie, Donald Trump, The American Dream, around probably like 2018. I seen this man had $3 billion in debt in his business. And so I'm like, yo, how is that possible? And so I started learning about business credit, and everything was different.
Yep. Facts.
Right. And I'm not a credit person, so you don't see me running around here promoting that. I just understood how to leverage OPM, the bank's money, to scale and do what I want to do. And so the reason why I'm bringing that up, because you really go deep down into service-based businesses. And we know in the mindset of service-based businesses, they feel like they got to put every single of their own dollar in to just say it's theirs, to say they did it. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy now. Yeah, it's crazy now. Like, you don't have to, it's crazy.
Right. And literally, like I tell people all the time, you can have all of the things that you want in life if you learn how to leverage, right? You can go get that nice house you want, that nice car, put your kids through this, create generational wealth paths. That once you unlock how money works, you will understand how the world works. And you got to realize that if America itself is United States Corporation, right? It's a business itself.
Yes, it is.
Then you'll realize that you have to be a business yourself in order for you to maneuver through it, right? And so literally we got to right?
That's all right. That's all right.
Right. And so, all right, so let's get to people that's getting started in the service-based business, right? Sometimes it's hard for them to specialize in one thing. What would you suggest to them?
Okay, so I was into makeup heavy, right? It's a service-based business, but when you think about it, it's only yourself.
Yeah.
So if I have 20 clients and I get, I don't know, let's say $5,000.
Yeah.
That's my cap. I can't do no more. That's my cap. So I had to pivot out of the service-based business and create a product out of my service-based business. So as a service provider with my hands, it was only me. And I had teams in Florida, I had teams in Georgia of makeup artists I was like, dang, it's a cap. But when you create a product from your expertise of providing that service, there's no cap. So I will say this, you have to become an expert, or at least somewhere where you have enough knowledge and experience in whatever it is you're doing to create a product that will then provide you residuals. Okay? And when you would get into the residual, like when I'm asleep, that product is still selling, right? So I just had to learn to do that. But, you cannot do a whole lot, because in a service business, they'll say, okay, so what do you do? Do you do makeup? Or do you do hair? Oh, now you do employment law. Oh, now you do HR. No.
Yeah.
When I got into beauty, I stuck within my makeup lane, right? So that will build your sponsorships. It will build your rapport. It will build your expertise. And then you'll start learning, and then it's by word of mouth when things grow. So if I have a beauty product that comes out, you best better believe I know the ingredients, I know the amount, I know the price, I know everything, because I'm dealing with all of those products. That's where they make billions.
Yes.
You cannot tell me one makeup artist right now that's a millionaire just off them providing a service. You can't, because we're at capacity if we're just using these hands. So yeah.
All right. So when you got your first product, how was that transition? Because I know a lot of times when people try to transition in product, they can't seem to source correctly, or they get discouraged because it's a minimum of things that they got to have up front, or amount of money they got to spend up front to get a deal. Like, how were you able to do that?
Okay, so I can only speak to my experience. I did not stop, and I have not stopped doing makeup. I just am, for the makeup opportunities that I get, I'm commissioned for. There's a difference. So when I'm commissioned to do makeup for production or movie or something like that,
Yeah.
I part Red Sea and everything else to do it because the dollars are there. It makes sense to me.
Yes.
So then my makeup service provided it became a sponsorship for
Yeah.
my products, if that makes
Mm.
sense. So I did
Yes.
the same thing with my career and beauty. So I just utilized, whatever projects that I'm working on instead of doing a whole lot of people. No, I don't
Yeah.
come out of my house in my mind unless I have a certain dollar attached with it, because
Yeah.
I know that dollar is sponsoring my makeup line. So
Yeah.
when I was able to start it out, right? So I
Yeah.
only started with 3 products. That way my SKUs aren't as large. I'm not putting a lot into it. I wanted to build my audience, my customer base,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, okay, these 3 products, they're hitting. They're going fast. Like, okay, and then those products then start to build upon my business. That's when I allow my business credit, right, to then be built. And now I don't use any of my personal money. I don't
Yes.
use any like projects that I do. That goes in my pocket. But I allowed me as an expert and a service provider, I allowed that little seeds that was created, I put that toward the startup of my, because you can't start too big, y'all. Those of you that are starting a product line,
Yes.
please know that the max that the industry, and this is like with Revlon and anybody else, they say 3 products. Start
Yeah.
out with 3 because you have to create the buzz and you
Yes.
also want to build upon that. And those 3 have to be hidden. Even if it's one, it just needs to hit. It needs to speak you. Don't just go to Alibaba or all these other sites and say, you know what, I like that lipstick and I'm going to start selling it. No, make it mean something. Have a purpose
Yes.
behind it, because people then gravitate to the purpose and not just the product.
I love it. That's hard. Like, yo, that's hard, and it's real too. Because for me, I've been a film director and a shooter, like the guy with the camera for over a decade,
Yeah.
and I got to a point where I could not get out of the service. I had to every dollar I get, I had to get it by me being holding the camera, and
Mm-hmm.
so I got out of that when I started realizing and listening to my market. And my market was saying, yo, and the transition of iPhones. I'm not going to lie, iPhones made shit so easy for
Oh.
the consumers to start shooting content. And so I
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, I see it coming. Let me prepare for it. And so
Mm.
I started teaching the consumers, because just because they got the iPhone, that don't mean they know what to say or how to say it to connect with their
Oh.
audience. And so I started teaching. And now we be having $100,000 days like damn near every other day, because I seen a spot in the marketplace and I started serving entrepreneurs, teaching them how to create content for their lane, right? Using their own equipment, you know what I'm saying? Reaching their own audience,
Yeah.
right? But because when it comes to this internet, people get intimidated by the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I started creating products. Like, even shout out to my guy Runway, because he started making me create more digital products and taking
Mm.
the teachings and making them affordable, so people can learn. Like, even right now, if they comment the word workshop, I got a free teaching this Sunday that's going to teach you how to create impactful content. And if you go get your free ticket, it's 2 courses that I got on sale. So instead of paying $297, you paying $27. That's going to teach you how to put those texts on your videos. And then another one is going to teach you how to turn your IG into a cash magnet. Right? I'm going to give you my IG cash magnet formula for $27 as well. And so you
Yeah.
get those products so you can grow and scale your business online. There's no reason why you shouldn't be creating content. Right? And I'm just being honest. All you got to do is type the word workshop in the comments right now so you can get it. And then go check your DM when we get off. But
Awesome.
literally, I want to talk about this because you do a thing where you got memberships, right? That continuous money. Like, tell us about that membership money. What's that's like, and break that down. Like,
So it's basically what you just said. Like, I had to realize, okay, products are great. You can make money while you sleep, but you got that membership and you got that video, like content that people just pay for, even if it's an e-guide or
yeah,
e-book or something like that.
yeah,
That's money that just keeps coming, right? So for instance, I was like, okay, I know how to do makeup. If you're in makeup or hairstyles or whatever, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. you teach. You can teach. Regardless of whether you think you don't have to be a professor, you don't have to be any of that, right? Like whatever it is that you're in, create that content. So for instance, if you have a face and makeup, you got to learn how to do eyebrows, lashes, blah, 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 lipstick, contour, highlight, you know, all of that, different face shapes.
Yeah.
So every single one of those I ended up using as content, right? So if you're a member, like if you're a member, every single week or every single month, something new drops, right? This is how you do this. This is how you do that. So regardless whether you're in video, film, TV, or you're in beauty, you know something. And so people are out there saying, and they want, so there was a lot of like, Ty, we want to see this, we want to see that. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll put out like a makeup book or a journal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it sold, but then it was slow. And it was like, no, we want to see you, Ty. We want to hear from you. I was like, dang. I was like, dang. So,
Yeah.
but when I did that, it was like, whoa, this membership is ongoing. It's automatic money. Like, it's just like, it's like, whoa, where did this come from? You don't even know where it comes from because it's automatic money, but you're giving back to people what it is that you know. And they want to know whether you have 10 followers or 10,000 or 10 million followers. They're following you for a reason. Are you giving them a reason?
Yo, that's so dope. I tell, like, somebody told me this one day. They was like, it's 3 pillars, right? The 3 pillars, service-based is just serving, is called leverage. And then you got your continuous monthly payments, and that's called lifestyle money. And then you take that lifestyle money and your leverage money and you create legacy money, right? And that's when you buy all your assets and all your real estate. So those 3 pillars is what you should have. And so literally when it comes to memberships and all of that, make sure you guys have memberships or have something. And a lot of times people are like, well, I'm not an expert yet. What that means, it's somebody behind you trying to know what it is that you know.
Yes.
No matter what level you is. You don't have to be at level 10 before you start teaching.
Right.
Or you could be at level 1 because there's somebody at level 0 trying to get to level 1.
Right. And then if you are at level 1, it will force you to educate yourself. And people aren't going to do that, right? But you know, if you're coming out with a course, you need to know what you need to know in order to be telling people something. So it'll force you to also learn that information that you need in order to tell others. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like even for me, I just spent $25,000 the other day to get into a room next month just to be in the room. Like this is just a event. It costs $25,000 to come to the event. Right? I tell people all the time, you got to pay to get the knowledge that you don't know. Because once you get the knowledge that you don't know, you're going to be able to use it and keep using it.
Yes.
Right? But a lot of times we be so scared to invest in ourselves and believe in ourselves. Because if we don't invest in ourselves, who the hell will?
I know.
Who's really going to believe in us if we don't?
I know. It's another gem I heard. I think it was Maddie J that said this.
Yeah. Shout out to Maddie.
Shout out to Maddie and Erica. But it was so funny because I seen you at InvestFest. And I was like, all right, yeah, I seen you at InvestFest. I didn't get a chance to get over there to you, but I seen your booth at the InvestFest. And so I was talking to all these other people, but I meant to go over there. But long story short, I was like, man, Maddie had brought up something. He was like, when you go to these events and you get in a room, you need to do 2 things. Of course, learn what you just said, right? You need to be able to learn and build, network, of course, but earn too.
Yes.
And that was something, I seen you with a booth and I said, oh, I should have had a booth. Because I was like, you got to learn and earn when you go to those things. So I was like, oh, man. So that's key too. When you getting in a room or you have like some of those conferences and stuff like that, even whatever it is that you're selling or you have a product, even if you can't sit at that booth, hire you a sales team or get you some people to also allow you the ability to earn while you learn.
Yes, and I think for me, it was like, all right, well, they ain't got me speaking on this. I'm speaking everywhere else, but they don't got me on this, right? Well, I got
Right.
to be in the building. I got to be in the building. And so I'm going to pay whatever it costs to be in the building because
Yeah.
it's all about recognition, right? Even like you said, you ain't going to see me, but you see my booth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even have my booth to make no money, but we got clients because people came and they see me. They're like, oh my gosh. But I didn't come there to sell. I came there to let you know that I'm here.
Yep.
That's
It's
it.
on
And
a
I'm not,
whole nother, and that was stationary, right? It's
yeah.
stationary. You know, even if people going like this with their phones, what is that? Marketing. It's like free. I mean, like, so yeah, it's, you win both ways.
Yeah, and so let's get into that, right? So a lot of people, and what you think about this? A lot of people think that word of mouth marketing is the only marketing they should do.
Who said that?
No, people think that, right? People think word of mouth marketing is the only marketing they should do. What do you feel about them marketing themselves online or doing both or whatever it consists? What you think?
All
It
right,
ain't a
this is
trick
what.
question. It ain't a trick question.
Okay. Well, I initially, when I first started out, I thought that was the key, right? I thought it was like, my word of mouth clients, or, it's going to get me there. It's going to take me there. But again, we talked about there's limits.
Yes.
Okay. There are definitely limits. And sometimes you have haters and don't even know you got haters. So who's to say what those word of mouth clients are saying? Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I learned something that I hated this, which was getting online like we're doing right now and creating digital or videos. Like, so I said, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And if I have fun with it, like, I gotta not look at the comments, negative stuff like that. So I'm going somewhere with this. So whenever I started to create content, me and my husband, we
Yeah.
started to create this funny content. I'm short, like 4'10", y'all, and he's like 6'2", 6'3". So we started to create content. It didn't have it didn't have an objective. It didn't have anything. We was literally just having fun. But what I learned is that people look at you, what you're doing, how you're doing it. So then they started to narrow us in, like, okay, y'all need to do more marriage stuff. You need to do more funny stuff. You need
Yeah.
to let's see your house. Oh, let's see. So that's when I started getting into like Airbnb. I started showing that type of stuff,
Nice.
and like, me doing interior design, and that took over. Like
Yeah.
VH1, we had Bravo, like we've had everybody reach out to us in regards to selling this or promoting this, and these are just checks, right?
Yeah.
But this goes to the fact of, I'm only saying that to say that it was not just word of mouth. They had to see us.
Yes.
They had to see us. They had to fall in love with us. And then too, that's when the other stuff started to evolve. Like, okay, there has to be more to this content and video of them
Yes.
seeing you. Now, how often are you doing it? Whether it's yourself or your product, they need to continuously see you. And I was like,
Yeah.
no. I was like, I don't want to do this. I did not want to keep my product in front of people's faces. I feel like I'm bugging them, right? And I was like, Dustin, why me and you have to do all these videos? But we got smart and we started to batch. And then we
That.
started to create these marketing plans that was just like, no, they need to see it, because what we learned was the more we posted, the more offers we got, the more money we got. Exactly. And it was like, oh, people will get aggravated and they may get, but that's in your head. That's in our
Yeah.
head, right? So
Everything
just
being out
continue
here.
to put it out there. However many ways it come. It could be in a mailbox. You sticking flies in the mailbox. It could be like whatever way. I am all for promotion, even if it ended up being negative. Because we had a video that was negative, and they thought I was a kid and he was an adult. So they started going in. But guess what? That got us a VH1 deal.
Yes.
Because the negativity, like, just in the positive, it just went crazy. So it ended up working out. So to your point or your question, my answer is, do not rebuke not one piece of marketing or
Yes.
exposure that's
Yes.
out there. Don't do
That's
it.
the
You limit
that's the
yourself.
answer. You got to do
Mm-hmm.
them both. You got to do
Yeah.
them both. You gotta get out there nonstop. But the biggest thing you said is people got to know, like, and trust you. And if
Yes.
they don't get to know, like, and trust you, how can they get to know you? And if they don't get to know you, how can they get to like you? And if they don't get to like you, how can they get to like to trust you, to buy from you, to support you? Like, sometimes people get so intimidated about putting out content, but they got to realize that if they don't get vocal, they stay local, right? And I'm
Oh,
just being honest, because you got to want this, because you as a person only going to get so far, but your
yep.
content can go worldwide. It's
Yes.
global. It's global. You
Facts.
never gonna know who see your piece of content. So if you somebody on this live right now that's having problems putting out content, what I want to do is I want you to come and join my free workshop this Sunday. All you got to do is type the word workshop in the comments. It's free. It's online. I'm gonna teach you how to create impactful content so you don't have these problems.
Mm.
Right? But also, look, I got 2 courses attached to it that's on sale. That's not $297. That's on sale for $27. That's going to allow you to put text on your content, because we don't realize that 90% of the content is first seen muted. And so if you got a video and it don't got no text on it, they're not likely to even watch it, because the text is going to help them want to know more about what it is that you're doing. So learn how to put text on it. But also, once you do put text, if your IG is not set up correctly, you will not close that lead, because they're going to get confused.
Yep.
So that's why you got to get my IG cash magnet formula, so you can set your Instagram up properly to bring the money in.
Yes.
Right? Like, but it's so important. Like, I've been doing content since I was 13. Right?
Wow.
So I started as a graphic designer at 13. I made my first dollar as a graphic designer at 13. So when I'm putting out and when I'm doing content, I tell people it's different. Like, when you see my passion, I really love this shit, because I've been doing this my whole life. Like, I didn't just start doing it, I've been doing it. And
Wow.
so it's a difference in my content versus other content creators. Like, they like, man, they ain't never seen nothing like this, because I know a lot. And so I was able to create a hybrid, inside of my teachings and everything, to really help the people, especially our people.
Oh,
Because when you look
yes.
at it, like, be honest, you don't see a lot of our businesses say since 18 this or since 19 this. Most of our businesses just started within the last 5 years.
Yep.
Right? And so literally, how can we grow and create generational wealth if we don't got a brand? If we're not putting out content so we can scale that brand, so we can create legacy and generational wealth, and so we can pass down these businesses so our kids can, get from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you got to put it out even if you're scared. Like, one thing I did, it may sound corny, but when I put the video out, that my first video, I was like, ooh. I didn't look at the comments. What I did was, because literally after you put a video out, you need to comment, you need to interact, you need to engage with your audience. I gave it an hour. I was like, okay, listen, y'all better do your comments and whatever, because I'm getting you an hour. After that, I'm logging off, because I'm cringing, right? I'm like, they're not
Yeah.
gonna like me. But listen, allow people to choose you. And don't get in your own way whenever you are creating that content. That is
Yes.
who they said, that is me. Yes, it's like, oh, they going to be irritated by my voice. Oh, they
Yes.
going to think my one eyebrow not matching the other. Who
Yes.
cares? Because when
Nobody's
that
looking
money
at that.
start coming in, you'll be like, oh, okay then. It don't matter whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
It will eventually generate wealth, like he said. So listen, if you got to close your eyes or do like this whenever put it out there, do that. But you got to
Yeah.
get over that. You have to stop.
Yeah. And 100%. Once you post it, leave it there. Leave it alone. Do not post it and keep going to it, right? And I teach a thing inside the cash magnet formula. It's called tribe and engagement. See, just like you just said, sometimes we post content on our Instagram, but we don't engage with our tribe.
Oh.
Why don't you engage with the people that's already following you to get some value from you? So
Yes.
if you post a piece of content, engage with your tribe.
You have
Because
to.
once you build that tribe, they're gonna keep coming.
Yeah, they are gonna
See,
keep
see,
coming.
see, I teach you how to really engage with your tribe inside of that $27 thing. That if you type the word workshop, you get a free seat to my teaching this Sunday, and it's live. Like, my teachings ain't recorded. Like, I'm live on Sunday teaching you how to create impactful content.
Y'all
No,
better get into it.
do not type the word workshop with a space. Workshop is one word. Like, so making sure that y'all get this content. And I want to know, what was that transition like for you when you start creating content? Like, how did content help grow your business?
Oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like, it grew it faster than what I ever expected, because what's on the other side of fear? And I had conquered it, because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to put the content out there, and it's what I like. So who's going to draw to that? The people that like it too. There's how many of us is in the world? Like you said, it's not just local. It's like international. But whenever I started creating the content, there were cringeworthy moments. Still are. There's still cringeworthy moments, but right? So I'm like, dang, I just have to do it. But when I tell y'all, like, literally, for Instagram, for instance, I started in TikTok, really just being myself. When I started in TikTok, I had 0 followers. I posted 1 video, 2 videos. I just kind of was constant with it, because I really like the TikTok family. But then when I look back at Instagram, I couldn't get over 19,000 followers. I was stuck for like 2-3 years. Y'all, when I started making video content, they were like, Ty, we don't want to just see pretty pictures of you. That's cute. What you say? They was like, that's cute, but we want to know who you are. So that's when these people, like not just pictures of your product, like, they want to see it in action. They want to see you use it. They want to see other people using it. That's when it was just like, I have a cash sound that comes up whenever, like, I get orders, or I need to hear it. Like, I'm an interaction person. I was like, oh, it is stupid. So I got hooked. The content made me get hooked, because I attached a dollar sign with it just to hear, okay, what's the difference? Changed my life. I got over 100,000 followers TikTok, and Instagram. I think I'm over 50,000. I can't remember, but that happened literally since February. Because I went ham on content. It was just like, I got to create it. They have to see it. Whether it's ugly or not. If it's ugly, you're still watching it, so you're creating my views. Now I get TikTok, Instagram, all these platforms that's also paying me without them purchasing anything. So you got to do it. Thank y'all for the gems too.
I love it, right? Because you said a thing that you got hooked. But we fail to realize that they got hooked, right? So when you put out content, you are hooking the people that you are creating the content for.
Yes.
Like, we got to stop thinking, like, we got to realize that there's so many people out there that needs our energy, need our story, need something, because they might be going through something, and something that you do might help resonate them to get out of whatever hole they in, or to encourage them to go to the next level, because they was trying to decide if they should do this or that. And one piece of content from you changed that, because they could not ask the people around them, because the people around them have never been up this road, but you have.
Who you telling? And one thing about this content piece, my transparency moments gave, like, my ugly moments. Like, I was on here one time, y'all, crying. I was like, I lost this $20,000 and this what happened. Like, they wanted to know what happened, because a lot of people see us on social media, or, this content is all pretty, and I'm in my Maserati, but how the hell did you get there? What really happened to get you there? So don't just create content and think, oh, it has to be perfect. They want to see the progression, right? They want to see the build up, and just give it your all. Like, only share what you're comfortable with, but I'm just being honest. It was the transparent moments that generated my tribe. They were like, oh, I see you. I feel seen. So I'm about to attach myself with this, because nobody's perfect, y'all. But once you realize that, and you realize, okay, they need to see the progression. Because like you said earlier, you said it's not a lot of Black businesses out there that's thriving, right? But those of us that do have thriving businesses, what are we doing to help each other? We're not on this earth by ourselves. We are here to help each other. And this content is just one way to do that. You just got
I
to be
love it.
transparent and honest with it.
I love it, right? You said let me answer the question, right? What is the best platform to start on when it comes to content? Whichever channel that you are already comfortable with.
Yep.
So if you comfortable with Facebook, start there. If you comfortable with Instagram, TikTok, whatever you comfortable, start where you comfortable and dominate that one channel. Like dominate, right? And you said something earlier that people think it got to be perfect, right? I tell people stop trying to be perfectionists and start becoming high achievers, because perfectionists will never get it out their head and the idea never come out to reality. High achievers will let it come out and know that they can keep working to fix it, right? Because we are human. And since
Yes.
we are human, we should have the ability to make mistakes. We naturally have it. But sometimes you guys think that you're more scared of somebody else judging you for making a mistake. So you try your hardest to prevent the mistake, but you don't realize you prevent yourself from even moving forward.
Oh, yes.
Right? So put out the content no matter how you feel, how you look, if it's good, if it's bad, because whatever it is going to be, you're going to learn from it. Right? I love it. Like I heard every single story under the book when it comes to content. Like, but I'm telling, most of it is all internal in you.
Yep, it is.
Nobody, like when you listen to it, when I'm hearing people problems, not one of their problems is to serve. They only being selfish and thinking about them, not thinking about serving.
Oh, come on. That's a word.
Because if you think about serving, you don't matter. Right? And so my whole teaching style, I teach my students and my mentees how to create content where you serve. Because the more you serve, the more you impact. The more you impact, it's reciprocity. The more they come.
I got a real quick example. So I told y'all earlier, or those of you that are just joining, I'm on the 14, right? Teased all my life. Growing up, well, not really growing up, but anyway.
I know your pains. I know your pains. I ain't that far up from you. I know your pains.
So you're right. So what you just said, pain. So I was like, oh my gosh, if I get my little self on this video, or if they see my height, they'll judge me. They'll start, I'll get picked on again. So I used to pray every day, God, please let it be a day where I'm not picked on for my height. Like, please, God. It really never happened. But, as I got older, but it was just like, okay, if I'm going to do this video or create this content, there's fear in the way. And aside with this fear, there's also embarrassment. I said, so you know what? I'm going to use my pain, and I'm going to allow this pain for like me to use content. So I'm going to make videos about me being short. Yes. Let me see who can I touch. And yes. Y'all, when I tell you, it was the most selfless thing I could have done, because I got an outpour. The products and services and all of that stuff, it'll come, right? But it was that transparent moment of pain. Like you said, you feel me, with us being short. It's like when I started like doing videos of being short on, it was just like this community of people just swarmed me. And it was just like, I feel you, I see it, all that. So if anybody negative comes on my page, oh, you getting attacked. It's like the beehive. It's like, stay off of here. No, we the little tribe. Like, y'all, there's a community out there for everybody. But you have to be selfless in order to receive and even touch them. So they're waiting on you, but what are you doing? And out of that pain moment, I got videos that are way up over 1 million and all of that. Well, guess what? That audience automatically generated to my service, my product, my memberships, like all of that. Yes. So it's that transparency. Sometimes just use your pain and say,
That's
you
it.
know what? Now I'm no longer really like get anxiety about people calling me short or any of that. It's like I'm over it. So it was also very healing for me to
Yes.
do and create content off of my pain, because it was like God was just telling me it's okay. I
It's
made you
okay.
the way that I made you for a reason. If you accept it, I'm going to show you these other people that will
That's it.
accept you for who you
That's
are.
it.
And then the rest
That's,
will come.
if I said, if you can't change it, you got to embrace it.
Yes.
That's it. Like,
Yes.
we can't change. We got to embrace it, right? And so that's the biggest thing. A lot of times we scared to embrace it, but we don't realize that 90% of the world is hurting.
Oh.
If 90% of the world is hurting, what do that mean? That means there's somebody out there dealing with the same thing you dealing. You just not talking about it. You hadn't. And once you come to light with it, they're going to come to light with it as well.
Absolutely.
And if you can figure out how to solve that problem or a problem that they might have and show them the benefit of the benefit, you will continue to scale.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm telling you, like, a lot of people don't, they make it harder than what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
running from the success that they can possibly have if they just be their true self. Because I teach a thing called the raw truth, right? And the raw
Mm-hmm.
truth is allowing you to be your raw self in your content,
Oh.
allowing you to be you. Because if you be you, there's no room for you to try to be nobody else. And then the
Yes.
truthful side is for you to be transparent and be you and stop looking at somebody else trying to be them. And so literally you can be truthful in your content so you can resonate. And that's why I
Yes.
teach a thing called the raw truth, right? And my
I
content
like that.
style is so different from anybody else's because people try to be somebody else instead of just being them and embracing everything that they went through. And if they embrace it, everybody else will. Because people forget to realize that whatever you speak on to yourself is what the world gonna speak on to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest, right? And so if you want to learn how to create content that's impactful, type the word workshop in the comment. I got a free training, live training online this Sunday so I can teach you how to create impactful content. But another thing is I got 2 courses attached to them that's discounted so you can be able to put text on your phone, on your content so it can stand out, and so you can turn your IG into a cash magnet so you can start attracting people with your content so you can increase your sales. And if you increase your sales, guess what? You grow your business because
Mm-hmm.
all sales are is the gasoline to your car. And
Mm.
content is nothing but that car. Right?
Mm.
Right. So I ain't gonna hold you up too long. If you have $100 to your name right now and you still got your phone for 30 days, how would you use it to start a business right now, starting over?
Me?
You
I would try and not use one dime of it and
break the
utilize my
process.
resources. Yes.
Break the process.
What I would basically do if I'm starting a business, like, and I had nothing, because $100 now is almost nothing. I would utilize my resources. I would not be afraid to ask, because a lot of things that I have received, even developing my business, was not monetary, and it was more than what I could even afford, just based off of my connections and my resources. What they say, OPM, like, yes, I would start asking questions. I would educate myself on these free platforms, and getting $27, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have all these workshops and things like that that you all can really educate yourself on before you launch out. But ask the questions. I wouldn't even use my 100. I'll find any type of way I can in order not to use that $100 unless I just have to. And that may
Okay.
come from me researching to make sure my name, trademark, get the legal stuff together, right? Because you could build a business and it all come crumbling down seriously immediately if you do not have your business registered, if you do not make sure that it's not already trademarked, things like that. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would
Yeah.
use my resources.
I love it. I think the biggest thing you said to me just now is the thing that we call OPA, other people's assets, right? So you said it like you're gonna use other people's assets so you can grow
Yes.
and scale.
Yep.
right? And sometimes we be so scared to use OPA because we be trying to reinvent the wheel. And I think that was a big problem I had as well coming in. I said, no, I got to create it from scratch. It got to be me. But then when you realize it, that shit takes so long, you done lost so much time. And by the time you got the shit out, the shit don't even work no more, right? So it's
Right.
like, start getting around and getting in these rooms so you can start leveraging other people's assets. Like, that's a big thing, especially shout out to Runway. That's a big thing that he instilled in everybody around him is, hey, leverage other people's assets so you can grow and scale and execute quicker. Because a lot of times people be trying to strategize the shit out of shit, but how can you strategize the shit out of shit when you ain't even done it before? And so
Right.
by the time you do launch, that shit gonna come crashing because you thought you figured out every possibility, but then everything changed. So
Yeah.
don't overthink trying to strategize. Strategize as your ass go, as you implement, because if you ain't never been there before, how the hell can you see it?
Right. Right. Get yourself in rooms, like you said earlier. Get yourself in rooms where you know, get outside of your family. If there's
Yeah.
nobody, if your parents didn't, you weren't raised in wealth or anything
Yeah.
like that, get outside. Look at who you're around too. When you're
Yeah.
starting that business, if you don't have any other business owners or entrepreneurs around you, get yourself around some, okay?
Yes.
And because those are the people that feed, you can look at their mistakes or they can share those mistakes with you so
Yes.
you do not make those mistakes. OPA
Yes.
is like, that was key for me because the 20 G's that I lost, I was given 40 G's.
Mm.
Given. Given. But because at the time when I paid out all my money, 20,000 to start, I wasn't visible. It was COVID time, y'all. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't visible. Wasn't nobody seeing me. But when I started to get out there, you use stuff, your phone, all this stuff like that. And like he said, he'll teach you how to do it in these workshops. It's
Yes.
important to get in there and learn this type of stuff because once you do, it's up from there. When it's up,
Yes.
then it's what they say. When it's up, then
It's
it's
up,
stuck.
then it's stuck.
Right?
Yeah.
It's up
Like
and it's
that.
stuck. So yeah, that's definitely some advice. I would definitely not be afraid to ask, reach out, because people we're wanting, like if somebody sends something to me and say, hey Ty, I heard you on the live and I know you started X or I see you've done this.
Yeah.
I'm not the type that'll be like, oh no, I don't. But it's some people that will be, right? But you
Yes.
find those people like us that will be like, sure, I'll help you out. It ain't no problem because I know it's not about always getting a blessing. It's
Yeah.
about being a
Being
blessing.
a blessing. You ain't never. That's why I teach you how to serve. That's the biggest
Yes.
thing. You gonna serve. If you serve, oh, it don't stop.
It
It's
don't
endless.
stop.
It's because this shit is bigger than you. Like, it's bigger
Yes.
than you. Like,
Yes.
when you realize that it's bigger than you, your purpose, your mission, everything changes. I knew this shit was bigger than me since I was a kid. Like, when I was
Mm.
13, don't ask me how and why, but when I was 13, I got angel wings tatted on my back because I knew I was the guardian angel of my family. I knew this shit was bigger
Wow.
than me then, and my mission's still bigger than me. And I'm still
Wow.
on it, and I'm making changes that my family ain't never seen before. I'm doing
Oh.
things my family ain't never did before, right? Because my mother never had a business. My grandmama never had a business. Her mama never had a business. They were so scared to lose their government assistance that they ain't never started
Mm.
assisting, right? I'm just being honest. I'm
That's
just
the
being
truth.
honest.
That's the truth. And when you
Just
don't
being,
have money, what can you do? You can serve. Because out of your service, people will see your heart. They'll be like, wow. Like, don't just text people or DM people and be like, how can I help you? No. You tell them how you can help them. I hate when people DM
yeah.
me, oh, I see this, I see you doing this. Let me know how I can help. I don't even know you. So how can I
I
love
didn't
the
even have
fact
a
that you want
position for
to.
you. Yeah, I
Right,
didn't have a
but
position.
let
Where you
me
come from?
know. Yeah, I do graphic design. I do this. I can help take one of my images and do it into a graphic design. Bam, okay, I'm going to use you for your next product. So be a service. I love that you do that and teach that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I guess it's life changing, right? Because for me, like, I'm a kid from Chicago. My mother was on dope. My daddy got killed when I was one, so I'm a real project baby. But what I realized is I was saved because other people was helping me that was strangers to me. And so since those people put their life on the line to serve and help me, I had to do the same. I had to pay it forward. That's my whole thing. I had to pay it forward. But that's why my integrity is different from a lot of these people. That's why my values is different. My morals is different. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't get tied up into none of this material shit, because I ain't never had the shit. And I knew since I didn't have it, I didn't need it.
Wow.
And I still know that to this day. So I just use my resources as tools to keep growing. Everybody around me, I push them to be in a better position. I teach them how to grow and scale their business so they can keep growing and scaling. I don't want nobody around me that needs me.
Oh,
I don't. Like, I don't want you to need me. Because if you need me, you're going to keep waiting on me to make a move instead of you go out and make a move and bring the loaf of bread to the table.
come on now.
But in order for that to happen is you must know that when you empower them, they have the ability to spread their wings. But a lot of people want people to need them, and so they try to hold them down and try to make them powerless. But if they make them powerful, you'll get through more rooms and more walls, and you'll break down more buildings because you got enough power in your tribe to keep growing and scaling.
Yes. Yes. Come on now, you starting to preach. It ain't Sunday, but shoot.
Right, like she said, love how you, Ty, Six Figure Spy Chick, Neo Runway Supporter. Yeah, like at the end of the day, we know each, like I'm gonna be so honest, and I tell Runway this all the time. You know who Runway is, right?
I know.
I seen Runway dominate the internet 2 years ago. I told my wife then, I said, might be the only person on the internet that probably can keep up with me. Right? I said that because I seen his energy. I didn't know his heart yet.
I'm gonna have to meet him.
Runway is a monster, but I seen his energy. I didn't know his heart yet.
Wow.
And then when I met him, we clicked like brothers, like we've been knowing each other forever. We talk every single day. I literally leave at 5 a.m. to go to Philadelphia for his wedding this weekend with my family. Right? Because I seen something, like anybody else would have seen something, became jealous or intimidated. I seen it and embraced it.
Oh, come on now.
You see what I'm saying? Because when you see greatness in people, you try to see how can you help it.
Yes.
Not how can you turn the light down.
Right. Like, I hate that mess. Get from around me if you're doing any of that. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I understand that, and some people don't. But we've been in the game for so long to understand that it's a longevity. Like, and you got to treat people with the utmost respect, because you never know when that little fish gonna become the big fish.
Who you telling it'll happen so fast in your face? It's like, God, ooh. I've seen people within a matter of months. I don't want to name no names, but all I could do, and it was from that rolling out event that we did. Like, it's some people, I don't know if you remember, but right now they are, oh my gosh, they are killing it. But it's because of our hearts. It's because that we're not envious, you know, and we are willing to serve. It don't have to be attached to a dollar bill all the time. Like, we're just willing to serve and be that vessel that God uses. I mean, that's it. You know, a lot of the times, even at Invest Fest, if you were not able to connect with anybody, that's your fault. Even on your courses or when you get people together, if people cannot connect, it's our fault. It is your fault, because you're only that one partner away from, like, going up. So you have to be open to being able to connect and also serve. You have to. Because going back to your question, which I thought was, I got to use it. If you had $100. I feel like it was a quick question, a trick question, because I was like, man, $100, you can't do nothing with $100. But if I was to start a business, I was like, wow, if I did it all over, I wouldn't use my money. I use OPA. It's gotten me so much further. And in rooms, just knowing people. But it was because of so much service that I did. I talk about having a
Yes.
product line, but nobody knows that I worked for one of the top cosmetic companies for 6 years without getting one dime.
Mm.
It's just because I
Service.
wanted to learn. I wanted to serve. So any and everything I ask for, Ty, what do you need? Ty, how can we
Yes.
help you launch it? Ty, how can I didn't have to do it for 6 years. It's because I wanted to.
Yes.
Don't be disgruntled with helping somebody either, because what's the point, right? It's like, why are you even helping? Why are you serving? So I
Yes.
love, because some people don't get it easily. So I love
Yes.
that you teach it and you
Yes.
show people how to do it.
I love it though. Like I love it. That's why like I teach it because I love it, and it's just
Yeah.
crazy because it's like when you realize the number one fear in the world is public speaking.
Mm.
The number one fear in the world is public speaking.
Are
So
you
that means
serious?
100%. So people are scared to get in front of this camera.
Mm.
They afraid. Like even the tax lady, she was just like, "Yo, Dontel, you help me. Help me get out of my fears." You know what I'm saying? Because I understand what it is that the people need, and I go deeper into it. I'm not basic with it, but the question you said that $100 was a trick question. The reason why it's a trick question because you can do it with no money.
Yeah.
You just gotta want it.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people think that you need to have money here in order to grow. No, you just gotta want it. The person who think it is the person who will achieve it. Right? It don't matter who's
Mm.
strong. It don't matter who's smart. It matters whoever think that they can do it is the person that will do it.
Come on.
That's it.
Without no
So
distractions or listening to other people.
that's it. That's why we got a thing called we opinion proof. We opinion proof because we not listening to nobody damn opinion. Because
Yeah.
when you start listening to people opinion that don't know what the fuck they talking about, you get to going in circles. Like you get to going in circles. Like you literally get stuck and stagnant because you're taking in all of these opinions and it got you spinning yourself into a hole. I'm just being honest. Like if you don't know nothing about this world, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you.
All right, people get caught up in asking um people certain questions like business questions or whatever to their sisters or cousins. They don't have no business, so why would you?
The answer is loaded. Every answer you ask somebody that don't have a business is loaded. They always gonna give you the fear answer.
Yes.
They're gonna always give you the scarcity answer.
Yep.
So why ask? If you need somebody to talk to, go pay somebody online that you see doing that shit and get the damn feedback from them, not the people around you. I know this person been supporting you their whole life, but how can they give you the answer to something they ain't never tried themselves?
Right. Right.
Like, yo, you can't. You ain't took the risk, the sacrifices, believed in yourself enough to even answer this. You're not qualified.
Right. Right.
But what happens is we ask them and then we get discouraged. So I
Mm.
say a thing like this. Every time you ask feedback from one of your friends or something that don't know, you put an extra 5 years on your journey. An extra 5 years.
Mm. Mm.
They don't mean it. They don't mean it. They just don't know.
They just don't know. They just don't
Right?
know. Mm.
Like, man, yo, Ty, this was amazing. Yo,
We can go over days.
your energy is amazing. What you doing? Like, I love your content. You and your husband content is some dope. And I love the
Thank
scale
you.
that you have. Like you've been going. Even the day we first met back in 2018, your energy was dope right then. That's why we even met.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like when you come in rooms and you give energy to the rooms, people forever remember that.
Mm.
Like even with my team, like cause my team when they reached out to you, I was like, yo, I know her though. Like I
Yeah.
know her. Like I'm like, cause my team reached out and I'm like, I know her. Make sure,
Yeah.
yeah, she dope, but I haven't talked to her since for real.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she remember the moment, but I remember every
Oh, I
moment.
do. I still got the picture. I'm gonna share the picture.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, because we took a picture together. They asked me for
Yeah.
my IG. It's Ty Cooper.
It's right here. It's
T-I-E
right
Cooper.
here.
Yep.
Now all y'all gotta do is click this little thing right here and
It'll
hit
come up.
follow. You don't even got to lead a damn platform. Just hit follow. She's amazing at what she do. Like, when y'all find dope people doing dope things, y'all need to connect with them. I don't even know what product you selling right now for them. Do you got something for them?
Yeah, I have a whole lot, but if y'all follow, then you'll definitely understand kind of what my journey is, me and my husband. But it has been a progressive, beautiful journey, ugly journey, however you want to call it. But I have beauty products. It's called Beauty Cosmetics. My cosmetic line is strictly luxury cosmetics, paying homage to Black women in Hollywood. And we also have a nonprofit which is a tea party. And every single product sold, it goes back, and we give scholarships to beauty professionals because it's a need. And so we also do, me and my husband, we do real estate. I do interior design. So we help start up and create, build out interior design Airbnbs, and we sell them, help you also build them out. So we have definitely a lot going on. But yeah, just follow me at Ty Cooper. It'll be a link right there in my bio. There's all the links there for everything that I have going on. But listen, I am an open vessel. If you have questions, flood me. That's why I'm here. It's okay. Flood me. Because everybody's not going to say that. But, you know, we are one of the ones that are open to sharing the knowledge. Because, you know, I didn't give it to myself. God gave it to me. And I'm definitely going to just share that. Yeah.
100%. Right. They said you got a book coming next year.
What? So yeah, be on the lookout for that. It is really how to. It's so funny because it's actually in real estate, like Airbnb. There are a lot of people out there that'll tell you that if you get an Airbnb, it takes over $5,000 to furnish, supply, do all this stuff. Airbnbs. We haven't done one Airbnb where we furnished it and it cost us over $5,000 bars. So,
because I definitely heard that. Like,
they always say it, and I'm like, everyone that I've done, they've been under $5,000. But there's definitely a guide. There's a listing of where you get all the hot furniture, you know, and even a person that knows how to you know, decorate and stage your property. So I gotta get the content. You know, I gotta create this content for you. You gotta help me out, bro. So
that's easy.
We definitely gotta put some stuff together because, you know, there's more out there, and you don't have to use a lot of money. We didn't use any of our money. We use our business credit. It's just really profitable for us at this point. So we'll get more information out about it, and we're going to be creating content. But listen, right now, while it's not out, y'all go ahead and sign up for our membership. Link is in our bio. And we just drop live gems like we're doing right now. We just dropping the gems because we know people want to know. And you don't have to pay for every single thing.
Nope. That's why I got a free workshop this Sunday. So you can get the knowledge and the information to scale when it comes to your content. So if you somebody on here right now that need help with your content so you can scale your business, just comment the word workshop. All you got to do is comment, and literally something going to be in your DM instantly. Like, I made it as easy and simple for you to get the information. You just got to take it.
Yeah, I'm going to take that course too, because if they type in some workshop in here and it goes straight to a deal, all right, I'm going to have to do that too. Yo, I love it, King. I love it.
Thank you so much, Queen. You have a blessed one. Thank you for this, all the information and energy, the gems, everything, and more success to you and your King. I love it. I love it.
You too. You too. Thank you so much for having me on.
I love your energy.
Always. You know it's lit.
It's lit in that bed. Oh, all right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. If y'all didn't get the chance to comment the word workshop, DM me the word workshop and you'll get a link instantly as well. Y'all have a blessing. We out of this thing.